Hello everyone, welcome to Halo Moon Tarot. This is your weekly reading for Gemini. Let's see what comes in for you guys, Gemini. I can see a card. Oops, I seen one try to come out. It slid back in. Right. Oh my goodness. So we have long-term stability, financial security for yourself, your family, and we have the Page of Cups. Yeah, look at that. I see opportunity. Now, this is what I feel. This is about partnering up, long-term stability. So this is an energy of someone who's, I mean, it's a social invitation. Do you want to go for a cup of coffee? So there is this communication, there is movement. But this is also someone who often gets a little overwhelmed when things start moving too quickly. Yeah, look at that. See, someone rushing in here. If you've got someone who's made up an excuse, they're too busy, it's possible this is someone rushing in. Now, this is someone super enthusiastic. Okay, they're really attracted to you. There's so much desire. They're following in their passions, and they're very much focused on a passionate relationship. Yeah, this is often, and if this to me is looking as though someone here gets a little overwhelmed, things moving quickly, they often rush in and back out and often make up an excuse because they're overwhelmed. There's too much happening too fast. Yeah, see, their pride and ego getting in the way. This is someone who kind of feels a little bit, it's about feeling a little bit trapped, but it's really just how this person's feeling. See, the passion, the drive, the ambition, they want to rush in and they rush in quick and it moves, then suddenly it's moving too quickly. So if you've dealt with this energy, this is a person who, yeah, we have an Emperor energy, ego. Someone here being ruled by their ego. Yeah, but it is an energy of pride as well, you know, but it has to do with that illusion of being trapped. So someone who needs to accept responsibility for their situation. Right? Just sort of accept responsibility, let go of the ego. And we have an Emperor. Yeah, this is someone who has a lot of pressure, a lot of weight on their shoulders. See, it has to do with being able to provide for someone. It's someone who rushed in and realized they probably couldn't give someone the attention they needed, but it was they were ruled by their pride. So now we have an Emperor energy. Yeah, this has to do with letting go of that, taking responsibility for oneself, not blaming another person. Yeah, this is someone who does that. The true Emperor will take responsibility, not blame it on another person, right? Because that's ego. But it's often the ego that drives this person because they find them attractive, they rush in, then they overwhelm themselves. And I do see someone who has a lot of weight on their shoulders or under a lot of pressure. So if someone here has made up an excuse, right? So this is what I feel is happening. Yeah, we have someone who's been thinking things through. See, they're choosing their battles. They're focused on their financial stability because they suddenly realize, I can't do this. I can't provide all this. I don't have time. I'm busy. But somebody who blames someone else. See, this is a true Emperor. This is someone who's letting go of that. Okay? And they're taking responsibility, not blaming other people. So they're blaming themselves because they rushed in too quickly. They didn't think it through. But this person's still in that energy. This is someone who wants to make something happen. Okay? They want to make this happen. So, but they're looking at this. See what all happened and why. Yeah, because you can see a little bit of an awakening, right? Sort of waking up to the reality. But this is someone taking a little pause, looking at things from a whole different perspective. See, they've chose their battles. This is someone who was dealing with, I see busy, see family, business, long-term stability, a partner. This person wants a partner, but I feel they needed to let go of their ego a little bit here, ruled by the ego. But see, this is someone who's actually taking responsibility. They blame themselves. Yeah, look at that. There it is. See, it's about being able to provide a house, a home, a strong financial foundation. They really want this. They're really attractive. They want this so bad that they have to choose their battles. Yeah, it's also someone who needs to choose their words wisely as well. Yeah, see, they're seeing truth in a situation. They're seeing the truth. So this is a person determined to have a victory. See, they're blaming themselves. But this is somebody who I feel has probably bit off more than they can chew. and probably in both ways. See, they have a lot on their shoulders, a lot on their plate, working a lot. So the whole point of this is they may have made up an excuse because their pride got in the way. They probably felt they couldn't provide, see, a home, a solid foundation. But this is someone who's taking responsibility for this. And they're going to make this happen because they want this. Look at that. See, they're trying to make the stability happen, the strong financial foundation to be able to provide a home. Look at that. See, they're not being ruled by their emotions, but they're finding a balance here. See, it's about being confident that they can succeed. This is someone who's obviously put on the brakes, taken another look. So they feel responsible. But it's because of that need to stay in control. This is somebody who feels they need to stay in control. See, and things are getting out of control. I feel this is someone who's bit off more than they can chew. They have a lot of pressure, weight on their shoulders. And this is someone who probably, if it is a business owner, this is someone who's responsible for other people too. So, but they blame themselves. They're not blaming someone else. Look at that. This is someone who longs for love. And I do feel this is someone kind of reminiscing. They've thought this through. They were choosing their battles. But now this person's going to come in, and I do see that truth, the victory. They are so determined to succeed, to be able to provide. So they don't blame you. They blame themselves. You know, they may have blamed you at first, but you can see, taking a little pause, seeing things from a whole different perspective, see, putting the shoe on the other foot. So it's about not pressuring someone at the same time, trying to control the situation, trying to get this person, to rush, to hurry. You know, they want this, I can tell you, and they're going to make it happen. See, there it is, this passionate new beginning. This spark that desires is someone who's probably holding a bit of a torch. I can see the reminiscing. Gemini. Strong Pisces, Cancer. Empress can be anyone, often Aries energy. Yeah, I really feel like this is someone's just really following their passions. They're very ambitious. They have goals, things they need to achieve. And this is someone who has achieved a lot. They should be patting themselves on the back. So I really feel like this is someone who, there's this spark, this desire, this passion. See, now they feel they missed an opportunity. This person's becoming very much self-aware. See, becoming aware they've missed a beautiful opportunity. This is someone who should have thought things through first instead of rushing into a situation. So someone who I feel was probably pulled in a couple of different directions, but they so wanted it. But this person made a choice. They needed to make this choice for themselves to deal with what they needed to deal with. Yeah, this is person here. Whatever they were dealing with, yeah. So there was a painful period in this person's life. I feel they were dealing with. It is over. Yeah. So this is somebody who wants to make this happen. But I feel things probably didn't play out the way they wanted because they missed an opportunity. But this is also them becoming self-aware. Right? They're trying to control too much. They're taking on too much. So then they can't be reliable. They can't give the person what they need. But they really are trying to achieve something here. Yeah, see, they're starting to see the bigger picture. This is what they really want and desire, right? They desire this, a happy home, happy life. But this is somebody who I feel needed to put on the brakes because there was a situation that ended that was painful. See, and it's also, too, this person I feel is going to come and tell you a truth. And this is going to be a relief, okay? So it's a relief. Yeah, they're looking at this from a whole different perspective. But it is about putting the shoe on the other foot, how the other person feels. So they do feel responsible. Yeah, see, this person's not somebody who blames someone, they blame themselves, but you can see they were focused on their finances. So now this person's kind of clearing out this path, see, moving forward. They're looking to see if things are safe, if everything's under control before they proceed forward. And that's what this person should have done. See, they should have done things differently. Yeah, this person's definitely... I mean, I can see the energy of this really bothering them. It's weighing heavily on them because they feel responsible. because they're assessing the situation, but they have a lot of responsibilities. They needed to choose their battles. They needed to do what was right for them at that time. So there you go. They do see the bigger picture, though. This is someone who wasn't ready to get out there, to put themselves out there. Yeah, you can see 7 of Pentacles. See, there was so much interest here, but it has to do with what's growing, what's developing. See, this person's on this path. They're invested in something. But they are so interested too. Like, they're still interested, and I feel they're trying to see if you're still interested. Yeah, this is a person, yeah, they have a lot of regret. It was all like a lot of unfounded fear. See, they come into this, they're kind of expecting the worst, right? Whatever they were dealing with, they were expecting the worst possible outcome. So that's why this person rushed in and backed out. Yeah, but here they come after a period of time, feeling stable, and they are in the energy of paying attention to the details. See, they should have been paying more attention to something. Probably their money, but this is all about moving forward. Yeah, it's all about moving forward. It's an energy of part to do with this decision this person's making, but there was a lot of unfounded fear, but I definitely feel they regret. Yeah, look at that. So there's some regrets here. This is like the Hierophant. See, rules, regulations, structure, contracts, negotiations. This is someone who's learning something here, often learning the hard way, but you can see this energy of someone here who's actually trying to be wise at the same time. Yeah, they're, like I say, this is about structure, lifestyle, the way they conduct themselves. But they were on a particular path, but now you can see they're clearing things out. They're moving forward, looking to see if the coast is clear. They're now looking at the details. This has to do with having faith in themselves, commitment. Yeah, being committed to a situation. See, this is someone who couldn't commit to this situation. They were committed to their work, their possibly even a family business where they had a lot of responsibilities. But it is a person who now has faith in themselves. Yeah, so this is someone who's gone through a bit of an awakening, a little bit of a wake-up call. It is about releasing and renewing. So this is someone who wasn't quite ready for new. Now they are, because why? They're reviewing the past with kindness, compassion. I feel this is somebody who's probably coming in to apologize. Yeah, but this is someone getting clarity on their life purpose. This is someone who I feel, it's definitely a healing and releasing, but it is about stepping up to the plate and making a commitment. Yeah. But this is somebody who now feels ready for something new. See, they weren't ready. They rushed in because they wanted this so bad, so badly, right? They were feeling really positive, and then all of a sudden this person realizes, I can't do this. I can't handle all this. I'm under pressure. Yeah, I got too much going on. Look at that. So there's a breakthrough. See that aha moment, the breakthrough. This is somebody who's achieved a goal. See, a person who's very determined to achieve their goals. So this is a victory. They broke free from whatever this was. It could have been going through a divorce, a breakup, whatever they were dealing with. They had to choose their battles. They had to do what was right for them. But you can see the victory. They've made some kind of wise choice. I do see this person who's, I feel, getting a lot of recognition for what they've achieved here. Yeah, but it is their pride that got in the way, their ego. See, it's a finding a balance between the pride and the ego. But a breakthrough to success. Wow. This person may have had a lot of debt. Who knows what they were dealing with, right? But look at that. So there's been some procrastination. See, they're kind of looking at this. They need to make a choice and stop procrastinating and overanalyzing. They need to be at peace with the decision that they're going to make. So they're looking for clarity and ready to move forward. This person has so much going on, and I can see they're reminiscing, looking at what happened, how it all played out. But this is about achieving a goal. This person's having a bit of a breakthrough. It's all about control. See, biting off more they can chew, trying to control too many things. And they may have lost control. But now you can see they've gained that back here. Look at time in between, things calming down. There's light at the end of the tunnel here. Yeah, this is someone who you probably haven't talked to in a while. They could be at a distance, but to me, this is somebody who's taking all these lessons they've learned the hard way, and they're applying it to this situation. Yes, they are very goal-oriented, but they've achieved a lot. It's almost like this person's so determined to, it's like they compete with themselves, I feel. I get this vibe that they really do bite off more than they can chew, and then they kind of lose control. So I do think this person here is having that little aha moment, that realization. Yeah, see, it's all about, this person's definitely procrastinating. They've been in their head overanalyzing. They need to calm down and make a sensible, practical decision. But they are moving forward, looking to see if the coast is clear, which is what they should have done before. They're gaining clarity and insight because of this awakening. See, a little bit of a wake-up call. This is someone who may not have been paying attention to what's going on, and all of a sudden everything lost control. They lost control, so they had to, it's an energy of taking back their own power. This is all of this internal energy. This is someone who has that power struggle, but it's about being powerful. It's about being recognized. And they are having a breakthrough, like I feel. This is that awakening, that wake-up call. They need to maybe slow down a little bit. Yeah. Challenging times, right? This is the end of challenging times. This person's definitely, things are looking up. There's welcome relief. See, there's relief. So this is someone who's avoided a disaster. This is what they had to do. Yeah, look at that. The end of this. This is all about, and I wouldn't be surprised this is somebody who was doing a lot too, maybe even moving and relocating at the time. It's just too much on their plate, too much pressure. Yeah, this is why you don't want to pressure somebody. Maybe they felt pressured, But like I say, a victory. Yeah, this is about being confident. See, this is the energy of the Strength card. It is about taming the beast, but often that beast is within ourselves, trying to control too much, do too many things, and then becoming overwhelmed. And then they need to put on the brakes. But this person's looking at this, and I really do feel they need to make a choice. They're going to think this through. They're going to make a decision when things are calm, but I do see things calming down for sure. Yeah, I feel like this person here, I do see kindness, compassion, and forgiveness. They're probably hoping that you can forgive them. Some of you maybe already have. They could be aware of that. It could be something they've learned here, but they're applying everything they've learned. I really feel like this person's about to make a choice. See, their cup overflows with emotion. This is someone who's now ready. They feel more ready, emotionally open. Their cup overflows with emotion. But you can see that's how they were probably feeling. They lost control of their emotions and need to put on the brakes. But you can see what's going to happen, though. See, this is a resurgence of love, a new emotional experience. This is lovely. See, the awakening. They've gone through this awakening, waking up to the idea of love and feeling ready. So there's been a deep healing. This person's gone through an awakening and a wake-up call with biting off more than they can chew, trying to stay in control, and then losing control of everything. This is someone who probably wasn't paying attention to what was going on around them, or just controlling too much. I see a fresh new start. I see somebody here moving, relocating to a new home, having a fresh new start too. Yeah, but I see a resurgence of love. I love this reading because this is somebody who is taking the Emperor is taking responsibility for their own actions because they tried to control too much, lost control. Now they've been focused on their finances, they're grounding themselves, they're thinking things through, and they're coming in, see, peacefully and calmly. This is about getting acquainted, and maybe for some of you, reacquainted after a period of time. But they do feel hope. They see they're looking at how it could play out. It may not turn out the way they expect, but they're very hopeful. They need to stop overanalyzing, and that's what I feel. It's that overanalyzing everything, spending too much time trying to control everything. But they are coming in. They're going to offer up this cup. You can take it or leave it. It's your decision. Yeah, see, they want to connect. See, they see all the possibilities, how things could be between the two of you. There's a lot of romanticizing and fantasizing here. but they really do see the bigger picture. It's all about, this is someone who needed to make themselves happy first. They have goals they maybe needed to achieve before. They need to be happy with self before they can make someone else happy. And that's what I feel. So look at this lovely connection. Now this could be a very deep friendship, but it's a soulmate connection. They definitely is somebody who wants to talk and connect. Wow. Wow. Whoever this person is, they are not blaming you. They're blaming themselves. They're taking responsibilities for their actions. And if they did blame you, I do think this person has that energy of their ego getting in the way. Yeah, see, being ruled by the ego and just really determined to succeed at all these goals. But, in all fairness, I feel this is someone who felt they needed to achieve some things before they could come in and be prepared, to be open, to be ready. It's a beautiful emotional experience. Definitely the energy of, and this could be a love letter, but I also see the energy of moving, relocating, a home, being able to provide a home, a strong financial foundation. But this person really does have things they should be celebrating, okay, what they've achieved. And I do feel they are getting maybe even public recognition. And maybe this is what this person felt they needed, But it is about the ego. See, they need to let go of a little of that. See, they're becoming self-aware. They have a little bit of an ego. But one thing good about this, see, it's all about the balance between two because of the victory. You see, it's all about being able to plan, prepare, provide something that goes the distance. See, the goals that what they really want to achieve, they lost control of it. But they are definitely feeling much more confident. So this rings true to you, Gemini. This person is definitely kind of checking things out, taking a little moment to reflect. And I do think they're going to come in with this offer. They feel confident about this too. This is what I like. But they are also, that breakthrough is the realization. They didn't realize they were trying to control everything. They didn't realize that they had this huge ego, right? Yeah. It's all good. They blame themselves. And if this is, they blame themselves. They're taking responsibility. But they are preparing here emotionally. See, this is someone I feel wasn't really prepared emotionally, because emperors often aren't. But a true emperor will not blame someone else. They'll take blame for their own actions. Take care. Bye for now.